Yo, 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 what it do? What it be, y'all? It's your boy ANT coming to y'all with a little 2K20 commentary. The last one I got saved. After today, y'all won't see me drop no more 2K20 videos. I'm done with that trash ass game. But anyways, let's get right into it. Today we gonna be talking a little bit about War in Chiraq Part 4. And I got a couple corrections to make from my last video. I know it's been a minute, but I remember I made a couple mistakes. One of them was talking about when I was talking about Chiraq from O Block getting killed. I kind of made it seem like he was just kind of like a random, kind of like a misso, but he wasn't. I've seen him in pictures with O Block members, throwing up the O, dropping Ys, all that shit. So it's kind of like he was definitely a member. And it's not like when STL slid, it's not like they was gonna hit a nobody. They knew who he was, type shit. So, yeah, Chiraq was definitely a member of O Block. Wasn't just some affiliate kind of guy. He was definitely hanging around there's pictures of him with the bigger name members in O Block, Trey 5, all them. So another correction that I made, or that I have to make, was in the last video I said something about Lil Breezy, and it just irked me kind of, because I know it's 600 Breezy. I don't know why I said Lil Breezy. I think I was talking about somebody else beforehand, and it just kind of, I accidentally said Lil Breezy, but y'all know I meant 600 Breezy when I was talking about him dissing Lil J. But yeah, also in my last video I talked about how after Fats from 051 Young Money was killed by 600, Young Money just went crazy on the streets, and it really started when 051 killed Tricks from 600, and as they were warring with THF and 600, they lost Big A, which was actually a female. A lot of people get her confused with Big A from O Block, but this was actually Montana's sister, who she's in pictures with the 051 guys, throwing up the Ys, this and that. So I don't think she was an affiliate. I think she was a member as well. I think she was giving money to the gang, all that shit. So So yeah, 051 lost Big A while they were starting up a war with 600, and THF Bobo allegedly put a hit out on Big A, and that was that. That they went out and got her, and THF, they couldn't get to Montana, so they got the next best thing. So around 10 months after 051 killed Tricks, they would kill LA Capone from 600 coming out of a studio. And that's probably one of the biggest hits. That's up there with the JoJo hit. That's up there with the OD hit, shit like that. Big loss for 600. You could tell right after LA died. A lot of shit went down. Get more into that in a minute. But right after LA Capone and Big A's murders, Pluto from Lamron would be driving with some TYMB members, and 051 happened to see them, and from what I understand, they shot and missed, or TYMB saw them first and got trigger happy and killed Pluto on accident. So that essentially ended TYMB's affiliation with 300. You hear Lil Durk talk about Pluto a lot in music, this and that. I think even Chief Keef shouted him out, this and that. But yeah, Durk and Lil Reese were the first ones to kind of be like, nah, fuck that. Fuck TYMB for that. So yeah, that ended TYMB's affiliation with 300, and their Dro City ties with Mubu led them to kind of clicking back up with all the GDs and around that area. They were cool with Dro City, they were cool with Mubu since they were still kind of repping Dro City at the time. So they kind of were kicking it. They were kind of neutral for the longest. TYMB is one of those sets that's really they're clicked up with somebody one week and then they're fucking not the next. They were cool 051 for a minute, and then they really kind of weren't. But it's like Melly, 051 Melly had his cousins were Cortez and Courtney from TYMB, and Melly was cool with some of the BDs because he lived in the Calumet buildings when they were still up. So I mean, I think TYMB and Young Money were what is it? They were kind of cordial with each other. I don't think they were really trying to slide on each other, this and that. Same thing with kind of Front Street and Young Money. They kind of were cool. Just kind of off of Melly, really. I don't want to say it was just because of him, but they were, they were cordial with each other, even though they had a lot of like the same ops or whatever. You never really heard or really hear about TYMB or Front Street sliding on 051 or vice versa. So that's kind of where TYMB landed after they accidentally killed Pluto. And we'll kind of get back to that in a minute, but we left off at the end of 2013. And at the end of 2013, drill had hit mainstream. It was the whole city of Chicago was in a spotlight, and every set in the city had at least 2 or 3 rappers trying to ride the wave and hop in the light on the city at the time. But also with that trying to be a rapper and making videos and this and that, you kind of make yourself more of a target, and the people around you more of a target. They see you on camera. It's not like they didn't know who you were before, but now you kind of like, oh, they over here now, they hanging out over here doing videos. Okay, like, so it's kind of a risk, but at the same time you got to risk it to get the biscuit at the end of the day. So and, with that, if I'm gonna make music, and this is kind of like, I think their mindset, I think they had the mindset of, okay, if I'm gonna make music and the ops are still gonna try and kill me, I might as well diss the ops too. So I think that's where, a lot of the disrespectful tracks came from in Colorado, or in Chicago. Jesus, I'm over here giving out home state, but yeah, out in Chicago and shit. But yeah, I think that's kind of the overall mindset. They I'm taking a risk anyway. And you see with tracks like E-Day's War, or even like Lil JoJo's BDK track, the more disrespectful you could get and stuff like that, the more buzz you can probably gain. Especially if you can, if you have a decent flow, if you can fit a couple decent like metaphors, like bars in there, you kind of got a solid drill track, really. So that's kind of how, in my opinion, the disrespect started, because it was just like, oh, people are getting the buzz off of it on social media and through the rap. So, if I could get disrespectful and still have a decent track, I could blow up. Look at Wooski and Computers. He wasn't even gonna drop that, and it gained so much buzz off of like this snippet he dropped on like FaceTime or whatever, that he just dropped it and then he started rapping. He wasn't even the best rapper, but he was so disrespectful, and it was like Computers was like an old ass instrumental. Nobody was really rapping on it anyways, and he brought that old, disrespectful vibe to drill back after, had kind of calmed down, kind of, Duck was still kind of dissing back and forth, but for the most part, once Wooski's Computers dropped, shit really started like to turn up again. Especially because like TW was rapping too at the time, and he felt like, oh, if these killers could rap, TB and Poppy could rap, I could do it. And then, oh, you seen 051 do it with Drill in Montana a couple months later or whatever. I think TW really paved the way, because they had 2 of their biggest hitters trying to rap at the same time, and it worked. They had talent. Poppy and TB had talent, and RIP to both of them, but they stayed on the track wolfing, stayed on social media wolfing, and that's the risk you run. O Block wanted, when they killed Brick, supposedly they was on the hunt for TB. They wanted TB and just happened to catch Brick lacking on the one or whatever, 61st, but or 63rd. Sorry, I think he got killed on 63rd and STO, but that's kind of how it happened, you know. And then you see, like I said, everybody kind of just copy and pasted that kind of thing. So at the end of 2013, names like Lil Herb and Lil Bibby, Lil J, FBG Duck, and Young Pappy were, you know, just starting to, or had already gained a following on YouTube. You know, with rapping along with guys like Newski, Lil Sean from PBG, EBE Bands, Aloe from GMEBE, Lil Mark from 051 was just, you know, he was getting a buzz on YouTube. With that Young Money, we out here, all that though. Billionaire Black, come and get your chain. Yeah, nah, that Lil Mark really had talent too, but with a new year came new casualties in the war in Chicago, and 2014 was off to a hot start as, like, within the first 4 months, Venzel from TW was killed in February, Lil Mark from 051 and Lil B from STL were killed in March, and KI from STL and Blood Money from Front Street and Kino from Loke City were killed in April. Now, Lil B was killed by police, and he allegedly, you know, had a gun on him. He was coming back from school or something, but no one really knows for sure what happened. But he wasn't killed by the ops, and he was the one who allegedly, him and KI were allegedly on the J Money hit. And so it was kind of crazy because even though he got killed by police, O Block and 300 don't really diss Lil B, even though he took out one of their biggest members. So I think, but they diss KI all the time, and she was there. So I think that's kind of how they make up for it. But I don't know the mentality. If I was them, fuck it, you know, fuck your homie, he dead, you know. But Venzel and Lil Mark getting killed was pretty much, you know, the end of D Rose's street career, which, and it's a known fact he was there on the Lil Mark hit, like almost for show. But I heard up until recently, for the most part, that he wasn't on the Venzel hit. But I mean, now he's locked up for the murder of Venzel. They pointed him out, and you know, I've seen a couple comments saying like, yeah, he was on the hit or whatever, but they just pointed him out. He was actually on the hit with Front Street Lows, which is crazy because that doesn't add up. He claimed a lot. He could have been THF D Rose, 600 D Rose, Folly Boys D Rose. But I mean, he was cool with all the BD sets, and he was definitely hanging around Keith and them at the time, which is why he would have probably been cool with Front Street. But I can't picture him being like, oh yeah, let's go ride on, you know, STL with Front Street. You know, I can't picture, you know, D Rose was cool with a lot of sets, but I don't think he was cool with Front Street like that. But I could be wrong. I don't know personally, but to me it just seems like Los. Everybody said Lil Los kind of looks like him, so that's kind of why he got locked up for it. So who knows? Maybe it'll come out later, but for right now, I for sure 100% don't know if he was there on the hit or not. We know it was for sure Lil Los who was there, and somebody else from Front Street, but D Rose was kind of, you know, it's kind of similar to 05 Kiddo from 051's case, where they were just kind of giving time for anything and everything at that point. Okay, you think we were there? People are willing to testify against you and point you out? Yeah, we giving you the book because we know what you want. And, you know, some people feel bad for D Rose, and some people say free D Rose and all that because some say he really didn't do it. Like I said, we don't know. But I think jail, I hate to say it, I think jail is the only thing that's kept D Rose alive. I think if he was out on the streets this whole time, I definitely don't think he would have been made it to this year unless he just got the hell out of Chicago or whatever. But I mean, it's crazy because him and Kiddo kind of had the same rep in the streets, and they kind of their stories are so similar. You know, Kiddo was doing hits back to back to back. You know, caught back to back bodies for his set, and then got caught up with an armed robbery and got 45 years for armed robbery. Even though, you know, they kind of threw the book at him because they knew his reputation on the streets. Same thing with D Rose, threw the book at him for his rep. he had caught, he was out here catching bodies. Lil Mark hit the fucking. He was on the. I believe he was doing hits with T-Roy and King Von. Them three were like the big three. Like they were like D Wade, LeBron, and Bosh. Sorry, one of them had to be Bosh. It might be King Von because he dyed his hair on purpose. But nah, but for real, it's crazy because D Rose was really out here. Kiddo was really out here. Kiddo was, big BDK. He was with the BDK movement. He was shouted out by JoJo and all them. He was cool with Lil JoJo and Brick Squad and cool with all the sets, just like D Rose. But it's unfortunate how him and D Rose ended up, but they could have ended up worse probably. And it's kind of, you got to take it with a grain of salt. If like Kiddo said, if you go to fucking jail, you got to do the fucking time. But even though D Rose got locked up for the Venzel hit, the Lil Mark hit was actually more impactful because besides Boom, who was killed on accident, Lil Mark was really the only guy from 051 rapping at the time. And his death was reported by everyone from the news to College Kid to even DJ Academics when his channel was like hella starting to grow and get to busting. But what made Lil Mark's death so notable was that he dropped a diss song on YouTube, everybody knows, days before he was killed at a bus stop in Chicago, like his alleged brother. I mean, they may have been half brothers, if related at all. Supposedly, they were half brothers. Their dad had like 12 kids, supposedly, from what I've heard. But yeah, he was half brothers or older. He was half brothers or blood brothers with Tuka from STL, who had died just a couple of years prior at a bus stop in the same way. And besides Fathead, Lil Mark was really the heaviest loss 051 took for a hot minute because, Fathead was Montana's little brother, and I feel like if it sucks to say, but if 600 didn't take him out or whatever, he probably would have been hitting 600 up within the next year or two. He was already claiming Shaq's body, which we all know was pretty much Melly's work. He self-snitched about it all the time. And it's crazy because I feel like a lot of people or a lot of Young Money members blame themselves for his death just because, they wasn't around or whatever. They let him claim that body. It wasn't really his, and he paid for it. And who's to say that he wouldn't have caught a body on 600 or one of the ops, prior to? Because you see what 051 was doing. He was coming up. He was a young shorty who just got caught lacking, wrong place, wrong time. And it's, and Lil Mark was supposedly on that hit too. So, but the whole 600, supposedly was on that hit. But it took a collab effort from 600 and D Rose and THF Quint to really hit Lil Mark. So it's not like it took, it was just an easy hit. I think they was really trying to get 051 for LA or whatever. They was trying to get that get back. And they was just lurking, and that's who they caught. And it's crazy because Lil Mark really had talent. Like I said, he could have went somewhere, but yeah, it's really that Lil Mark was the heaviest loss to me for a hot minute up until like the whole Melly situation happened this year probably. And like I said, it took a collab effort from THF and 600. So crazy how that exacerbated the 051 THF 600 war even more. Like, so, and Blood Money's murder was, a huge loss because it seemed like he shouldn't have even been in that situation. Like, he had a Vlad interview a couple weeks before his murder, which Vlad brings up every time a rapper gets killed. Like, when Jimmy Wapo died or whatever, he brought up the Blood Money thing. It was crazy, it's stupid, but it was a big name, and he was getting nationwide recognition rapping with Keith. He should have got the fuck out of Chicago, but some of these dudes love that street life so much that, they get this God complex, or they feel like they're untouchable, or, or they just love their hood so much they can't leave. They feel like they're responsible for it, and it never really ends well. And it sucks to say that it didn't end well for Blood Money. He was killed by MOB, and to this day it's kind of disputed who killed him, but one of the main people mentioned was Killer KI, who was killed this year over something personal apparently, because barely anyone from Front Street or MOB really mentioned him. Like, he was a OG to MOB and all them, and no one really said anything. I think a couple MOB members said anything, but he didn't get really taunted by Front Street or anything. That's how you kind of know it wasn't Front Street's work or whatever. But Front Street doesn't woof anyway. But nothing, nobody said anything. Not a shorty, nobody. And even his sister or something said, or his girl said something like, y'all snaked him, this and that. So more than likely it was something personal. And another thing to note is that when Blood Money was first killed, people thought KI from STL did it because she was killed like a day later for retaliation. However, it wasn't the case. Like, KI's death was completely unrelated to Blood Money. And it's also been rumored Scrap from MOB was also on the hit before he died. And I don't know if he made up with STL before his death, but it's unlikely he would have been cool enough with STL, or at least KI at the time, to do a hit with them. Which, I mean, it's ironic because if he really was there on the hit, the KIs on both times, the female KI and the male KI, got credit for both hits. Even though, Scrap gets credit for killing Lil Steve, he could have had credit for, the hat trick body, but nope, the KIs, Killer KI and KI from STO took credit on both of his hits. But just, a little irony that I see from, kind of crazy. But Kino from Loke City was killed on the north side by PBG, TFG, Hula Gang. That whole conflict with PBG, TFG, Hula Gang versus the Lokes, Get Rich, Dead A World, Lil 4 Mob was just about to heat up. Young Pappy was just starting to get a buzz on YouTube, just started kind of putting his music out there. And between May and August of that year, like, King Scoob from Black Mob would be killed by NLMB, which I believe is why Shoota Shells hated them so much. That's why he killed, Yogi from ABK, I think, because he had something to do with it or something. ABK had something to do with it with NLMB, and then that led to his death, but we'll get to that later in another video. But TZ from Lil 4 Mob was also killed by TFG around March or April. It was definitely someone from PBG, TFG. I think it was TFG Biggs, I could be wrong, but allegedly. But his death is why Lil 4 Mob and the CVLs wanted, Pappy killed. He was definitely dissing TZ Munchie, being disrespectful towards Lil 4 and all that. And, he just made himself, I said, like a bigger target. So I think that's what it ended up being. The death of Pappy was that TZ hit, because I believe he was there supposedly, but I mean, we'll never know until, maybe somebody writes a book about it. But I doubt it, makes a movie on it. But TZ from Lil 4 Mob, he was just a shorty, and supposedly when the whole thing went down with when CWN was like, I know who killed Pappy, it was this, and this, but I'm not gonna say who it was. And then it was like that whole Dirty Red situation. I feel like that was so fake. He definitely got paid by Dirty Red for promo or something. But yeah, CWN definitely lied. I don't think Dirty Red killed Pappy. I think somebody from Lil 4 Mob, it was like a joint hit supposedly from CVLs and Lil 4 Mob. They just were lurking, trying to catch Pappy lacking, and it was just, they got the drop on him. I don't think it was his location was exposed. I don't think any of that. I think it was just he was walking in the wrong place, wrong time type shit. In the wrong neighborhood on the wrong night. They was just lurking on the ops block and caught Pappy. And, he had that complex, that untouchable. I'm fresh out of jail, ain't nobody gonna... But we'll never know. That's just what I can summarize from what I've heard and from what I've gathered. That's what got me into drill, was the whole Pappy situation. and his death. And after studying it, it's almost like I don't believe half of the rumors. Dirty Red and CWN definitely had everybody fooled. Even like TZ's family, like whoever was like on YouTube or whatever, I looked when that shit happened and I seen TZ's family comment on the YouTube like, you don't move like a body snatcher, four corner hustler, this and that. But yeah, they kind of checked Dirty Red, and he didn't really have like a rebuttal. He didn't really explain himself. So to me, that whole situation was just like promo. It was fake. CWN just trying to get clout or whatever, trying to give out clout. It's just weird. And that's kind of why you got to take everything he says with a grain of salt at this point. Malcolm Stuckey was killed somewhere around like May, I believe, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's the body King Von was locked up for. If not him, it was for Modell. But King Von beat the case, and he blowing up, and we'll see if he can beat his case in Atlanta and keep up the momentum. And let's just hope he don't end up like the first two dudes Dirk tried to put on. I mean, long live Newski, long live LA. But I mean, geez, man, like, come on. I hope he don't end up. He actually a decent rapper. I mean, I don't think he better than LA, but damn, like, hope he make it. I hope everybody. I hope Drilla make it, even though they making fun of. Oh, he probably write a rap about it. Lil Durk be writing raps about shit, and y'all niggas don't say shit, so I don't want to hear shit about that. Like Lil Durk do the same thing. Y'all just mad because it's the ops doing it, I guess. But Newski was actually killed in May 2014 by 051. Who, 051 taunts Dirk any chance they get. Everybody taunts Dirk for that. They kind of let his cousin get smoked, this and that. He ran, OTF Crump talked about it in a rap before he died. It's crazy. R.I.P. Crump, because he kind of put it out there. They got the picture of Dirk crying on the scene or whatever, and it's just, they were waiting for Dirk supposedly. He didn't come out the store on time or whatever, and he took too long, so they pulled up on Newski, and really, like, that's another one of the big hits just because it was Dirk's family, I think. I don't think Newski really, like, Newski was talented, but in comparison to King Von in LA, I don't think he's alright, The fact that 051 is getting closer with FBG and MOB, though, and they actually have guys like Drilla, Uchi, Rose, and Montana on their rap shit, they could actually get a little buzz. If they started getting rap money and getting fame like Dirk, and they all stay in Chicago, the violence is only going to get worse. Because then they would only have more money. And the important thing to win a war is money and resources. Which, even though Dirk and OTF been getting way more money in rap than 051 STL MOB, the ops been keeping up with them on the proverbial scoreboard. So you can probably imagine if anyone from that group blows up. Rose, 051 Drilla, Uchi, Duck, Dutchy, MOB Ruga. If any one of them blows up, gains mainstream media attention, gets a deal, a national deal or whatever, that either it could go one of two ways. Either they're going to move out and move on from the war while it still goes on with the new shorties stuck in the hood. And that's who they gonna look up to is, the dudes who was dissing the ops and got out. So it's never gonna change like that. Or they gonna stay in the hood with their bread. And history's gonna repeat itself. They're gonna start buying RPGs for their little homies. And maybe I'm exaggerating with the RPGs, but I mean, they're gonna have way more choppas, Max, all that. It's gonna be a repeat of when O-Block blew up, and we gonna see Ruga and Duck wearing the same Burberry shirt and passing around one Mac for the gang to take selfies with. Nah. Alright, for real. I'm gonna stop joking for real though, cause when that exposing me with Duck and Ruga took off, if MOB 051 and FBG really start collabing, like how Blackgate was collabing with O-Block, 600, Front Street, Face World, Dog Pound, like they was all doing hit songs with each other. Like you had LA doing songs with JB Bin Laden, you had O-Block doing songs with Front Street with Chief Keef and Blood Money at the time or whatever. Face World and Dog Pound and Low Life were kind of doing their own rap shit with Kenny Mac and Lil Buck, Lil D and all that. But like they were at the start of the drill movement. That's kind of how they were. But shit would probably start even getting more hot on the South Side than it already has been. Like, you feel me? But I hope everybody the best. I hope everybody makes it. I hope everybody stays safe out there. Don't get smoked. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I got to add in another clip or whatever because this video talked about a lot. I'll probably talk about the rest. Finish 2014 and maybe start 2015. Episode 5. Stay tuned. I got big things popping, hot content dropping, little things stopping, all that shit. It's been your boy ANT repping the Spell Block Agency, the Elevated Gamer, aka the Above Average Gamer. Be safe out there, y'all. Don't get smoked. I'm out. Peace. And before I head out for real, I'll just go ahead and narrate the rest of this video. You see me taking it all the way down here. Kendall Gill. Oh my god, I almost had the oop to self. I think I gotta get like a Michael Jordan card for that, but I'll wait for this game to drop or something for till I get it again. It's just not worth the struggle right now, especially when COD and Outer Worlds are finna drop. It's just, might as well struggle in those games. But you see them, you trying to catch up. I'm at 18. He over here trying to press me, thinking I'm going, you know who I am. That Joel Embiid split the D. Got him. Stupid. And the reason why I chose this last one right here as the last clip, and you'll find out here in a minute. I get the rip, take it all the way down. He gets the rip back. Still can't do nothing with it. Go ahead, pass it all the way back. Look, this is your time. With that, oh, I think I missed this one low key. No, I do miss it. Embiid foul. Here we go. Right here. Right here. Yeah, get the pick. Yeah. Yeah. Gang. We don't play. Alright, y'all. I'm out for real this time. Be safe. Don't get smoked. Like, comment, subscribe, all that shit. Peace.